Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. Going to be listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast in our 20th year. Very proud of that. Brought to you by the fine folks at Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 plus years. Doing amazing things in our community, whether it's food insecurity, it's the arts, it's Alzheimer's, the homeless, something that's important. I guarantee you they're going to be there shoulder to shoulder. Honored to have in the studio with us today Margi Malek. She is Director of Kids for Peace. How you doing there, Margi?
I'm great, Drew. How are you doing?
It's wonderful. Joined by my co-host, Om Cabra. He is a high school senior, and Neville Billimoria, Chief Marketing Officer for Mission Fed Credit Union, and somebody who is very passionate about Kids for Peace. I'm going to start with you on this, Neville. How did you get involved with Kids for Peace, and why?
So Margi and I met many moons ago when she was in education in Oceanside. We were part of Community Alliance for Youth Success, CAYS, that's actually still going on.
Nice.
And along the way, you know me and my jam. And
I know your jams.
My jams. Strawberry jams. No.
Exactly.
So I saw this. I wear this Kindness Matters bracelets nearly every day of my life. I buy them and give them away when I see somebody do an act of kindness. So and Mission Fed just became a kindness certified company. So it aligns, baby. It aligns.
Well, first of all, it does, and that is in your DNA, obviously, in yours as well. You know, Margi. So, Kindness Certified Company is a program of Kids for Peace.
Yes, Kids for Peace is a global nonprofit,
right? And
our mission is empowering young people and businesses to create peace in their lives, the community, and the world.
Right. So who came up with the moniker with kindness as leading to this, and which of course it does?
Jill McManigal is the co-founder and executive director of Kids for Peace. And she met a 16-year-old high school student, actually, at a backyard party, and they connected on a pin that Jill was wearing that had Gandhi on it. And Jill shared with Danielle that Gandhi said, if we are to achieve lasting peace in the world, we must begin with the children. And they got together, and so they met in Jill's backyard with 13 kids, and Danielle said it has to be student-led. It has to be youth-led. And so they asked the youth 3 questions. What does peace mean to you? What do you want the world to look like? And what would you like to do about it? And then they created our first program and our signature program, which is called the Peace Pledge. And it's this beautiful pledge that our youth created. And now we have 80 chapters around the world that share the Peace Pledge with the kids, and then the kids implement each line of the Peace Pledge.
So what does peace mean for you, Margi?
Oh, that's a great question, Drew. Peace means kindness. It means kindness to yourself, because once we are kind to ourselves and we love ourselves, then we can bring peace to the world, compassion, love, kindness. The tagline of Kids for Peace is uplifting the world through love and action.
Well, listen, the world needs a lot of it. There's no question about it, and but you got to start somewhere. And I love that this is so much into Neville's jam, absolutely. And that, and I'm going to add the other word that I've been using a lot because of Neville, and that is joy. And we've had some folks on that have focused on that. I think they go hand in hand, to be honest with you, in many different ways. And of course, there's empirical evidence that what joy does for you physically. We all know that from some of the folks we've had on the show. But I imagine, Margi, it's the same, with kindness, that it does, and you can add to this, Neville, it does something to you physically and mentally, literally, whether it's the endorphins going crazy or not. Talk about that.
I love that. Yes, joy is this energy that when there's joy in the room and joy in our hearts, that it's so easy to be kind and to be compassionate towards others and want to support them. When the kids do another signature program of Kids for Peace is called the Great Kindness Challenge. Started with 3 schools in Carlsbad. Now we're in 45,000 schools in 123 countries.
Oh, that's unbelievable. And we should be in. I want to. When we get to the next solar system, then man, that'll be something. You have a question for Margi.
Yeah, I was just wondering. So, kids' natural instinct is to play. How do you think that incorporates with your peace pledge or the Peaceful Kids?
I love that play. Yeah, because when we play, what do we have? Joy. Mm-hmm. And that's why the kids love the Great Kindness Challenge. It's a 50-item checklist of kind acts. And they do 50 kind acts for other people the last week of January every year. Mm-hmm. And the kids call it the happiest week of the year. They experience so much joy because they get to give to others, and they love that. And they do it, it's some very playful things that they get to do.
So on those acts that they're doing, do they have to do with people they don't know? Or neighbors or family or whoever it is?
Yes. Well, we have the school edition Great Kindness Challenge checklist. Yeah. So they do things for the school. They create a poster for the lunch ladies. They bring a rose in for the secretary. They write notes to their friends and put them in their backpacks, things like that.
We're chatting with Margi Malek. She is the director of the Kindness Certified Company Program for Kids for Peace. I'm Drew Schlosberg at Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by co-host Om Kabra, who's a high school senior in Neville, Billimoria, close friend, longtime colleague of Margi's and all this. So, okay, Neville, Mission Fed is a kindness certified company. Okay, how and why and what were the 5 W's of how to get there? I'm throwing my journalism background in.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
What, when, why, how? Okay, never mind.
Right, very good.
Yeah. So we just recently became kindness certified. We did it because we believe in the ethos that goes along with that, right? You've self-referenced that we're a good corporate citizen. A good corporate citizen has values. Those values need to be modeled and expressed. And we obviously, with banking, because credit unioning is not a verb yet, I've been working on it for 24 years, we bank 29 of the 43 school districts, so that educational component also kicks in. So you've got the compound of our values and ethos, the local schools and communities that we serve, all with this EQ.
Well, listen, and I'm a little prejudiced. Margi,
go for it.
Yeah, I've known Neville from literally, I think the day he started at Mission Fed, or pretty close to it at least, in this aspect of it. And having to be honored to work with him, as a colleague, as a friend, and everything in between. And of course, he's such a perfect fit for Mission Fed, as all the folks we work with, Catalina and Courtney and the CEO Doug, and go down the list in this. Because these folks are absolutely with you shoulder to shoulder. They are, yes, they believe in donation. Monies do help groups move forward. It does turn lights on. But they are absolutely so much more than checkbook philanthropy. And it is all about kindness. And they get involved and collaborate. Talk about Mission Fed as a company and a kindness company.
Mission Federal was my first banking choice when I started working at Oceanside Unified School District. And I loved Mission Federal Credit Union because every time I walked into a branch, I felt like I was walking into my family. And people welcomed me warmly, and I felt completely embraced, and like I know that they are here, I can trust them, and I know they're there to support me. I loved banking with them.
Yeah, when we come back from break, we're going to talk a little bit about your experience in Oceanside Unified School District. Be curious to see if you worked with my good friend who was a superintendent there. You're an author. I want to talk about the book you've done and proceeds in this aspect of it. And we always spend time in the second half of our Spotlight show. Margi, what can our listeners do to support these efforts? When we return with Margi Malek, she's the director of Kindness Certified Company Program of Kids for Peace. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We'll be right back after this very short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. So cool to have in the studio with us today Margi Malek, a director of the Kindness Certified Company Program of Kids for Peace. Their mission is to empower young people and businesses to create peace in their lives, communities, in the world, and themselves, of course. Joined by Om Cabra. He is my co-host. As a high school senior in Neville, Billimoria, a very close friend and a colleague with Margi, and now Mission Fed proudly is a Kindness certified company. So what were you doing in Oceanside Unified School District? You a teacher?
Yes, I was a teacher for 37 years, 32 of which were in Oceanside Unified School District. Started off in preschool special ed, went to first grade, fifth grade, and worked for 3 years at the district office with the Oceanside Promise, which is where I met Neville.
So did you work with my good friend Larry Parandi?
I love Larry Parandi. He's the one that brought me up to the district office.
So Larry Parandi and I worked together. I was honored to chair the Sweetwater Education Foundation, and Larry was an assistant soup with Ed Brand down in the Sweetwater Unified School District. And I stay connected to Larry because his daughter-in-law runs Lead San Diego. And so Veronica, right. So when I saw the name, I go, are you in relation to Larry? Yeah, my father-in-law. Right. And Larry is a force, of course. Have you seen Larry recently?
I have not. Okay. No,
yeah.
Not in many years.
How's he doing?
He's doing great. Yeah, I saw him at Dr. Luis Ibarra, Escondido Union.
Oh, his retirement?
Retirement. But yeah, Larry Parandi has a constellation of leaders in the educational space all around San Diego.
100% on that. So I'm glad you got, next time I see him, I will go ahead and I'll mention it to Veronica that Margi was on the show. Talk about this book. So you decided to write a book?
Well, I was delighted and honored to be invited to be part of a collaborative book.
Got it.
So Kara Horat is the Connect for Success Mastermind leader and founder, and she invited 21 of our mastermind sisters to come together and write a book called Her Next Level by Kara, K-A-R-A, Horat, H-O-R-A-T. And we all decided to share our story about our next level. That's why it's called Her Next Level. So it's a bunch of female entrepreneurs that hit that wall, pushed through it, got through to the other side, and are now incredibly successful.
What's your next level?
My next level? Well, I always thought that my purpose and my legacy was teaching. That's, what my mother did, and my aunt and my uncle, and it's in my blood. And then all of a sudden, after COVID, I was like, oh, it's time for me to retire. And so I retired to Kids for Peace because I got to experience going to Kenya, where they built a Kids for Peace school in Kenya. Wow. And I saw the power and impact. And then I just realized, oh, my legacy is kindness. So that's my chapter in the book is called Her Kindness. Every chapter is called Her Something, and that's my chapter.
Okay, so Her Kindness. Talk about those kindness things you do on a daily basis. Put him on the spot, Neville.
I just love to give love to whomever I meet. So
right.
when we went out to dinner last night, and I always ask the server's name, and I always am very gracious and thankful. Yesterday we had a monthly meetup at Carlsbad Village Books, and I tipped very graciously and generously to Gabs and the other barista there. Whenever I go to drive up to get some food or something, I just love to pour love out to people.
Well, it does make a difference. You got a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, when you were teaching, did you have any motive to do something like this when you eventually retired? Was there any incentive of, I'm just going to stop teaching and go straight to this, or did you always have this as a plan?
I did not have it as a plan, although when I met Jill McManigal, the founder of Kids for Peace, and I went to Kenya, I said, I need to use these programs in my school, and so I did. I brought the Great Kindness Challenge and the Peace Pledge to my school for 4 years, and the kids led it. Mm-hmm. And so I loved Kids for Peace so much that when I retired, my financial advisor said, don't retire from teaching, retire to something.
There you go.
And I was on the board of directors, and Jill just said, we are looking for a kindness certified company director. We don't have the bandwidth to do that. Do you know anybody? I raised my hand. I said, how about me? And she's like, you're perfect, because she was also at our K's meeting, Community Alliance for Youth Success, and that's where I met her. So she got to see the work that I did coordinating student empowerment programs for all 23 schools in Oceanside.
That's great. Well,
yeah. Number one, what part of Kenya? Because my mom's part Kenyan. And number two is that, was there any special impacts you got from Kenya as a total? What kind of takeaway did you get from Kenya? I know you talked a little bit about the experiences there, but what was your main takeaway?
Yeah, great. Okay, so this our school in Kenya is 9 hours south of Nairobi in a tiny little village called Mikay.
Oh, okay.
And what I was most surprised about was the joy and the happiness in those children's lives in this little tiny village where they have nothing. They don't even know where the next meal is coming from. They have absolutely nothing but the joy and the love that they brought to me here. I thought I was going to be bringing it to them. Was such it touched my soul in such a deep way. That's why I became so committed to being part of this kindness movement with Kids for Peace.
Wow.
And it just was so spot on, and I'm just thinking about the kindness, just the simple acts just make you feel so good about doing some things. We're chatting again with Margi Malek, director of a Kindness Certified Company Program for Kids for Peace. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, joined by Neville, Billimoria. Kids for Peace, I'm going to say a company school, a company designated kindness school, a kindness business. Is that right? What's the official title of it?
So there's the Kindness Certified Companies, and there's Kindness Certified Schools.
Any
school that participates in the Great Kindness Challenge, which they get to do for free,
right,
gets to be a Kindness Certified School, and they get a beautiful seal. Kindness Certified Companies donate a small donation, $200 annually.
Okay.
And all of the money that we raise through the businesses go to support our 5 free programs in schools.
You just talk about the act of kindness, and so, and maybe this sounds so small, but there really is no such thing as a small act of kindness. When traffic is crazy in this world, as we all know, especially in San Diego, but it's so cool when you let somebody in traffic and they wave and you see this. I've been trying to make a right turn for like 15 hours, and you let me do. Exactly. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel so good when you let somebody in. I mean, my goodness. So there's my little kindness comment. How about you, Neville? Do you have a special type of a kindness that, boy, when I do X, it always warms my heart because I get a nice immediate reaction from someone?
Well, we referenced Mahatma Gandhi earlier in Ahimsa, nonviolence. There's a quote from St. Francis of Assisi who says, "Preach the gospel and use words if necessary." And then there's a quote from Mother Teresa that says, "We can't all do great things, but we can all do small things with great love." And so I think back to your micro habits, it doesn't have to be some massive effort. It's being intentional, being present, and affirming, attentive, being just put yourself in the other person's shoes for a minute, and your life will be enriched.
Well, there's no question about it, and and when we do practice this and be mindful for practicing it, whether it's the kids, whether it's the companies, and all that, and we know what that does and how that makes you feel, and it sounds so obvious, but it's those little things, okay, that add up in these turbulent times that we're in this aspect of it, and obviously you've got the chops behind it. Started in Carlsbad with a few
3 schools in Carlsbad.
And now where are you?
Now we're in 45,000 schools in 123 countries.
Yeah, that is absolutely
impressive.
Impressive, and it's the right thing to do, for God's sake. And you know what? Despite some of the challenges that we're facing, not just in this country, but in this our region or whatever the case may be. No one can tell you that kindness doesn't make a difference. It absolutely does. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Oh, there's so many things they can do. We also have a kindness certified individual program. So people can go on to the www.kindnesscertified.org website, and they can click on Become a Kindness Certified Individual. And there's 3 levels for that, and you can support 2 schools, 3 schools, or 4 schools in receiving the Great Kindness Challenge for free. And businesses, we need you. We need kindness back in business. So join our Kindness Certified Company program, same website, and just click on Become a Kindness Certified Company. We elevate your brand with a Kindness Certified seal, the same one as the schools. You get to be on our directory, KCC directory, and we have monthly meetups and quarterly mixers where everybody gets to know each other and helps each other grow their business and community.
Shout that book out again. What's the name of the book?
Her Next Level by Kara Horat.
Okay, very good. Proceeds are going to benefit the organization. Neville, any final words?
I love that finishing thought of put kindness back in business. Kindness should never have been out of business in the first place. And
Thank you.
It's time to put it back in business. The data suggests 2.9% of us can create a movement. So we don't need the entire world to do it. But if 2.9% of the world population invested in one another and brought empathy and kindness and love, compassion back into business, this would be a better place. Do you know that right now in 2025, there's more armed conflicts around the world than there have been since World War II. So this is timely.
We need to reverse that.
Yes, we do.
Effective immediately.
Join this kindness movement. It is powerful, and we can be the change we need to see in the world.
So well stated on this. I think we would love to have you make a return appearance. We'll figure out how to do that as well, and maybe bring in some other, if it's okay with Mission Fed, some other kindness companies, certified companies, if that, or a school. Maybe there's a school that really stands out. Maybe we can dig Larry Parandi up and have him them come in as well in
Yes.
this area. Margi Malek, what a pleasure chatting with you, Director of Kindness Certified Company Program for Kids for Peace. As always, appreciate you as a co-host.
Yep.
Neville, always make my day fun when I see you sitting next to me, shoulder to shoulder. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast. Been doing this for 20 years, brought to you by Mission Fed, 6 decades of just absolutely shouting out kindness and joy to everybody that touches their orbit. To our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.